Mazi, thousands of us have already died before this. This struggle is not a thing of today. This struggle is as far back as 1966. The famous poet Okibo, Christopher Okibo, he died fighting for Biafra. So many of our brilliant minds died then. So death is not many of our people are already dead. A man must die someday. We all die. So, but we will not be cowards and just, we will not say the truth. And then if you try to oppress us and destroy us, we will not speak out. So if the jail man in Nnamdi Kanu, it's going to just be completing the narrative that these are very evil people. They will dialogue with bandits and terrorists that are killing people, killing the army, raping children and women. They will dialogue with them, give them money, negotiate, open a ministry of livestock for them. They will give it to them. But a man who has come out to say, open a seaport for our people. What kind of wickedness is this? Why would you have only one seaport when God blessed us to be along the coastline of West Africa? Open a seaport in One. Open it in Port Harcourt, in Ibocha. Give us international airport. Why will our people be traveling to Abuja and Lagos every time with all the harm that waits for them along the road and the economic and other and pressure and stress? This is the man that said, open industries for us. Allow us, both federal presidents, invest in our region so that our young men will not be going around the world and be forced into drug peddling and crimes, and they are all locked up. Mazi, go to jail. If you go to Malaysia, young Igbo boys are there. That people don't even know. They're in jail. That is what he's asking for. He's not even said, okay, leave Biafra. But do this thing for our region. Do this thing for my people. They say no. There is a dry seaport in Kaduna or Kanu. Dry seaport in Kanu that is far from the coastline. The Yorubas, they have seaport. They are opening seaport for all along their region. They want all the good things for themselves, all the federal presidents, their road, everything. But they want to destroy us as a people. They don't want us to have any good thing. Is that a good thing? Is that good? Just as a human, is it good? It's not. To what end? Why? So
even the devil knows it's not good.
So forget about Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has done what he should do for me. He has etched his name in the timeline of history. He's a hero. That's it. He's not. People who come to criticize his character. What do you want from a freedom fighter? Really? You're dealing with people, with monsters. You have to become a monster or to be monster in a good way so that you can fight them. Nnamdi was able to galvanize. Now you see the way I'm speaking. How can you talk about the trauma of the people and you will not be agitated and mad? And that is why Nnamdi was mad, and that was the only way to drive that message. And it's not as if we were talking about things that happened in the past. There were also ongoing. There was this
it is present continuous. Yeah.
At this time now, they want to come and take our land. They are killing our mothers in the farm. Instead of being a selfish person and just pushing his own business in Lagos and in London and taking care of his wife and children, now they put his life, his safety, his sanity, everything on the line for all Igbo people. And then you know what happened? For a long time, people were not listening to him. But eventually, because he was speaking the truth, he started galvanizing Igbos around the world. And people from Japan, from South Korea, from US, we started listening to this, our brother. And he said, this guy, he's not mad though. That was why he went to the Igbo Congress and told them, then people are asking him intellectual questions, Now they can see it. The Fulani are everywhere, killing everybody, kidnapping everybody. So what I'm going to say is this. Our enemies is formidable. They want to destroy us and take our land. That's how you have to understand it. Forget about your individual, whatever. If they're killing Nnamdi, he has done what he should do. Nnamdi has done what he needs to do. He has woken up millions of us around the world. You see, Nigeria, they can keep doing what they're doing, but the world is big. and we are all over the world. And when Nnamdi stop, we will continue. They must give us freedom. Even if we die, our children will take over and continue. There's nothing they can do. If they can sentence him, that place is an evil, corrupt entity. So they can sentence him tomorrow or today, no problem. Martin Luther King was killed. Like you said, Mandela was in prison for 27 years or thereabouts. Many people who fought for freedom for their people, they died eventually. So what will happen to Nnamdi? For me, I'm not really worried because I've seen his nature and he has woken up millions of us around the world. And we may not have the military might to confront Nigeria now. But you know one thing I know, as long as you're on the side of truth, one day things will change and shift in your favor. And your enemies and those who seek to destroy you, they will be the ones at the receiving end. Because what have we done? Why do you want to destroy us? What have we done? Why do you want all our people to leave our land? Why do you want to frustrate all of us? Why don't you want us to survive? Give us Biafra? No. Allow us to be president? No. What kind of thing is that? You hate us so much, but you don't want us to go. You destroy our businesses. Oh my God, you just wake up after you won't give us a job. Then we go into business. When we make some money, you come down and burn down the business in one night. You burn down the family. Nobody's keeping record of this. So many families. You're destroying us, destroying our nature as a people. We live for thousands of years before they put us in this contraption. Nnamdi Kanu. So let me put it like this. At 1966 or 1967, the southeast region of Nigeria had the fastest growing economy in all of West Africa.
Yeah.
We had the highest number of technocrats in all of Black Africa. The Igbos in all of Nigeria, we were part of the administration. We were the ones administering Nigeria. By virtue of mainly by a lot of it was by we were qualified by merit. So within the British run system, which was meritorious, we got these positions, and we were all over the country. In the military, of the officers class, 2/3 of the officers were Igbo ethnicity, and these guys, the selection process was by merit. What I'm trying to say is that Igbos distinguish themselves as very hardworking, intelligent, smart, and we are very, very progressive. Now something calamitous happened to us. I don't want to go into the old details. We know. You cannot talk about Nnamdi Kanu without talking about these things, because without these things, Nnamdi Kanu will not appear on the scene, or he will not be of any consequence or relevance. So a place that had the fastest growing economy, all of a sudden we were reduced to nothing. In a space of 3 years, we were destroyed literally. Our brightest mind, many of them were wiped out in that genocide. And at the end of it, they said there was no victor, no vanquished. They said they were back on reconstruction, rehabilitation, and another R. I can't remember what that one is. But the Nigerian government refused to live up to that. It was a lie. Because what did they do first? People who had money in the bank before the war, regardless of what amount, they lost that money and they were given only 20 pounds. So the people who had been starved, who had been massacred, you return them back to Nigeria without anything except 20 pounds. That's 20 pounds is for people who had money. Oh, if you didn't have any money in the bank, nothing for you. So now, these people were returned back to Nigeria, and what has Nigeria been doing with them? Nigeria now had a systemic way of making sure that they subdued us and kept us down. And it's of different forms. You can look at the way they divided the states, which Gowon started. They did it to shrink our size, putting our brethren into other neighboring states. You have Igbos in Kogi, you have Igbos in Benue, you have Igbos in Cross River, you have Igbos in Port Harcourt, you have Igbos in Edo State, Igbanki, all those people. What they were trying to do was to shrink us, to keep us subdued. In the military, they don't let you ever rise. If you get into the military, by the time you get to maybe a colonel, they will do what? They retire you. In the civil service, the same thing. I'm telling you, my dad, at the steel company, there was a time they came in there and retrenched 90% of the Igbo engineers for no reason, just because they were Igbos. And if you go to all the parastatals in Nigeria, that is the story of most Igbos. Now, what about our region? It became militarized. Checkpoints everywhere. If you go to the north, you just travel, you don't see any checkpoint. Once you come into the east, before you move a few meters or whatever, you see a checkpoint. And at this checkpoint, these men keep collecting bribe. Okay, now because of these hostile policies to our people now no federal presence in our region. They don't station federal institutions in our region. They make our roads. I don't know when they give these contracts, they give them to people who will eat the money. Our roads are not good. The region was run down. So you now groom the people who have been traumatized by civil war. You now groom them to become hopeless, so that once we graduate, we want to leave our region, go to Lagos, Abuja, or travel out of the country. That became the lot of the Igbo man. They destroyed our nature. Now, when you travel, you go to Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, all these countries, our Igbo brothers are in jail. Because you go to a foreign country, are you from that country? At home, they will say, oh no, Obodo Igbo. Meanwhile, you're in the streets of Madrid, in the streets of Malaysia, in the streets of Indonesia, trying to survive. Those of us that don't end up in jail and manage to do some business and start importation, when you come to Lagos, they're waiting for you in Lagos. Men like Atiku Abubakar, all these people that work in customs, they get rich off our sweat. They seize the containers and then they levy all sorts of tariffs on some of the other containers. Now, before you move those containers to the east, they keep collecting bribe at every stop. Okay, you take exam. If you're from the east, you have to score the highest in JAMB. If you're from the north, they call them educational disadvantage. But these people have been in charge of the government and all the resources coming into the country. They have access to all sorts of what do they call it? Scholarships. In the southeast, we don't get any scholarship. But after writing the exam and passing, they peg your own cutoff highest of the whole nation for you to be able to get admission into an institution. But when you now graduate and after everything, they will not give you a job. Now you start thinking of how to leave the country. So, Mazi, when you do this thing to a people for a long time, how will Nnamdi Kanu not come about? Now, before Nnamdi Kanu, Uwazurike even came. So, see what happened. We were a defeated people, but you cannot defeat a people forever. It's not possible. As long as you still have some people alive. And look, we are Igbo people. And we scattered around the world. But Nigeria, in their ploy to destroy us, they built something dangerous that they cannot deal with. Because after the war, it took many years. They had all sorts of tactics and policies to keep us down. But Uwazurike was now the first group to be brave enough to start talking about Biafra again. But because it was local and in Nigeria, they were able to stampede it. Nnamdi Kanu was a disciple of Uwazurike, but he was in London. So by the time they saw, oh, if you try to do this thing within Nigeria, they will crush it. Because we now saw how determined these people we call fellow black brothers, how determined they were to subdue us and keep us down forever. That's why Nnamdi now went on that mission and started going from nation to nation, going to wherever there was an Igbo person in all the corners of the earth and telling them, look at what they are doing to you. You are a special people, but they have destroyed you and they want to destroy. But we don't want them to keep destroying us. And Nnamdi, he was one of the best person that was able to articulate our problems. Because we were people that were confused. We even hate ourselves. We will say Igbo people don't trust Igbo people, that we are not good people. That is why what happened to us happened to us. And we were people who were in